Hey everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today we are here to finish discussing the Autumn Tote. If you are just joining us, this project unfolded over 4 weeks, and there are 3 instructional videos which are linked down in the notes that will show you step by step how to assemble this gorgeous bag, which I am calling the Autumn Tote. In addition to these step-by-step video tutorials, I also have produced a PDF that is a supplement to the video tutorials, and this document includes all the pattern measurements, the fabric requirements, the sorted hardware requirements, as well as very concise written instructions. So again, that's optional, and you can purchase that from my Etsy pattern shop. The link and everything you need to know is down in the notes. So I'll just give you a little look at this beautiful bag here. Today we're going to talk about the defining details on this and how we integrated the hardware to set what would otherwise be a basic tote apart from the rest. And so there are rivets here on the handles that help offset the faux leather that is on the front of the handles and adds nice detail to that. The zipper pull is what they call a donut pull, and that allows me to attach the tassel, which we're going to make a couple variations today. And then I installed purse feet on the bottom. As you can see, mine are crooked. But as part of this process, we did have one of our Patreon members come up with a clever solution to this. So before you close in these sides here and give the bag its depth, you can use little stickers that are circles to mark where you would like to install these purse feet, and then with the sides still being open, you would punch those holes and install the purse feet, and that's how you can guarantee that they will be nice and straight. As you'll see if you review the video in which I installed these purse feet, mine looked nice and straight until I fashioned these corners. So I highly recommend you wait to install your purse feet until you have the base of that bag stitched together, but not the corners. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Then I have this handmade label on the front there, and then inside this bag there is a swivel key fob, and so that's how we set this bag apart with hardware. I really love it, and I'm already contemplating which fabric I want to use to create a winter tote for myself. So stay tuned for pictures of what that beautiful bag will look like. So now I'd like to show you how to create a couple different tassel variations for this project, and I have some samples here for you. I know not all of you have a rivet press, and so I want to give you a couple different options. This one here is most like what is on my Autumn Tote, and I haven't actually glued everything together so I can show you all the pieces. I just cut a little teeny tiny accent piece there that is about 1/2 inch by 2 inches. And then this is special hardware that comes from Sally Tomato is where I got mine from, and it's tassel hardware. And so I took a cut of that faux leather, which is 3 inches wide by 6 inches tall, and then I measured down 1 inch, and then using my rotary cutter I just notched over 1/4 inch each time and cut that slit 1 inch from the top. And then the trick with this particular tassel is to just fold that up as tight and even as you can. And so you have the option, of course, of putting some glue along there, but I suggest you practice. This is the E6000 glue, which you get in the big tube there for just a couple dollars. It's a great product. And my friend Tammy suggested that I put that into a smaller container so that I can get precision with that application. And you guys can probably hear Tim over there in the corner crying. Timmy, would you like to come and say hi to the ladies? Do you want to come over here and say hello? Or are you going to be a good boy? Okay, so back to our tassel. The trick is really just folding that up nice and snug and keeping that top even. And then this will just slide right inside that tassel cap perfectly. Now the tassels from Sally Tomato come with a little teeny tiny screw, which you can screw in there to keep this nice and snug in there. I struggle very much with those little tiny screws. I can't get my hands to cooperate to install them, and I also can't get my eyes to cooperate at the same time. So what I prefer to do is use the glue to hold the tassel nice and snug, and then put a little glue in the base of this and tuck that in there. And then to hide that little hole where the hardware will be, I will also put a little glue around this little accent piece there, and voila, I have a really nice sturdy tassel. So that's one option, and Tim has arrived, so I'm going to pick him up so he can say hi to everybody, because that's what he came for. Come here, Timmy. This is Tim, guys. If you're just meeting him, he is my 7-month-old golden retriever puppy. I love him very much. Tim, say hi to the ladies. Timber, what do you want to tell the ladies? I know there's some gentlemen out there watching too. Timber says hello. He's a good boy. Yeah. Okay, stop crying. I hope he'll be good so we can finish making tassels. So this particular style of tassel is really the perfect accent for the Autumn Tote, I think. It clips right onto the zipper. You could also attach this to your key fob or what have you, but I really like the look of that kind of modest but long tassel with the Autumn Tote. But I want to give you a couple other options. This is technically not a tassel, but it's definitely an accent, and you can see that's just crafted from a 1-inch swivel fob, and I cut a 1 by 6 inch cut of the vegan leather, and then I gave that a nice little angle, and I installed a rivet on that. I do feel confident that even if you don't have the cam press, you could install this rivet on this particular piece of hardware with a little hammer or a press, and that wouldn't be very difficult for most. So this would also make a really cute accent on the bag, and I'll show you what that looks like. Just like that. I think that's fun as well, and it makes certainly unzipping the bag a little easier. So it's just a little extra touches like that that make you go, oh wow, that's nice. Okay, and then for the grand finale, I want to show you this tiered tassel, which was inspired by a Sewspire patron, Mary, and she had something similar that inspired the tassel she created for her bag, which she's making as part of AMC 11. AMC, if you're not familiar, is my masterclass, Andrea's masterclass, and I teach that once a quarter, and it is a Sewspire patron exclusive benefit. This was our last session for 2021, but we will start again fresh in the new year. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, please visit the Sewspire Patreon page. We'd love to have you join us for 2022. So anyways, I'm going to show you how this comes together because I didn't glue anything. And I have taken a little thin 1/2 inch by 9-inch strip of that vegan leather, and I folded it in half, and I did install the rivet, which I'm again confident that most of you could do even if you don't have the press, and that's on a little 1/2 inch swivel fob. And then I took a larger cut of the vegan leather, which in this case is 9 inches long by 8 inches tall. So 9 inches across by 8 inches tall. And then these first cuts here, I started on the long end. This was, imagine, a whole rectangle. So I started on the 8-inch side there, and I measured in that 1/4 inch, and then I cut up 3 inches. So these cuts are 3 inches from the bottom, and I went 3 inches over, and I kept working with that 3-inch increment. The second tier there, I only made those cuts 2 inches up, but it was 3 inches across. And then same for the top tier, those cuts were 2 inches. So the first cuts are 3 inches up, 3 inches over, 3 inches over, 2 inches up, 3 inches over, 2 inches up. And they're all spaced out a 1/4 inch. And this is going to get wrapped around this little 1/2 inch fob, which is readily accessible. So with this, you want to start wrapping from the long edge, and again, you would put that glue in there, but I highly recommend that you practice first. So line up everything at that edge, and then the trick is, again, rolling that as tight as you can without disfiguring the piece of vegan leather that is attached to the fob, and you just roll nice and slow, and you want to keep that top edge even. So if you were applying your glue here, then this would be sticking in place, but this is just a practice roll to see how it comes together. And I'm just keeping that as snug as possible while keeping it even at the top. And so that's how that comes around. And if I had the glue applied across the top there, then I would use one of my big clips, and I would let that sit for several hours. And that's how I would know that the tassel is nice and snug on there. And then again, I would come back in with just a little teeny tiny accent. It would have to be a little fatter. It's going to have to be probably 2.5 inches for this one because it's much thicker at the top. And I would wrap that around the top to glue that in place. And then I would have a really awesome tiered tassel, which I'll show you what this looks like. This silver hardware doesn't match my hardware on the Autumn tote, so I won't be using this with this bag. I'll have to make another bag that has silver hardware for this fabulous tassel, but I'll give you the idea of what that looks like. That's really fun and is definitely a statement tassel for sure. So I hope that you enjoyed crafting this project with me. I really had such a good time making this bag, and I'm so grateful to our Sewspire patrons for designing with me over these last 4 weeks and sharing lots of inspiration. Their bags, as always, turned out absolutely beautiful, and I will be asking them to please share photos of their AMC bags on our Sewspire Facebook group page. This is going to be the format for tutorials that I am going to use moving forward. This works very well with my life, and it will allow me to produce really high quality tutorials for you that result in gorgeous bags. It will also allow us to explore some other facets of bag making because we're not confined to just that 1 week. So just to review, in week 1, we will go over all the pattern measurements and we'll cut out the material and we'll prep that. I'll have the PDF ready for you. In week 2, we'll craft the exterior. In week 3, we'll craft the interior. And in week 4, which is like what this is, we will share tips. You can ask questions in the live chat. And I will be showing you how you can take the design to the next level with whatever element we choose for that particular bag. Another great benefit of letting this process unfold over 4 weeks is I get your input. So please always feel free to comment with ideas, tips, suggestions as we're making these amazing bags. So next week we'll start a fresh project for the month of November. I feel like that is going to be a version of my City Slicker. I'll link to the original City Slicker down in the notes. I want to take that bag and convert it to a messenger bag. So if you want to check out that tutorial and see the direction we're headed for November, I invite you to do so. As always, I want to thank you for joining me, and please know until the next time we meet, the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Hope to see you Friday for my weekly vlog.